valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
It's 8 o'clock. Breakfast is being served at Ellen's downtown.
Hi, I'm Todd Boatwright. This is your Spectrum News in 90. A new report on a deadly Texas music festival is providing new details about what actions were taken that day. More than 50,000 people attended the Astro hosted by rapper Travis Scott. The crowd surge killed 10 people. The report includes transcripts of concert goers' 911 calls. The Dallas Holocaust and Human Rights Museum is commending the actions of Southlake Police Chief James Brandon on firing 2 officers after someone drew a swastika during a meeting. The museum says the swastika is a symbol of mass murder. And El Paso will honor victims of the 2019 Walmart shooting next week. City officials say they'll host a special bell tolling on Thursday. The gunman is serving 90 consecutive life sentences. Now let's get a check of your hyper-local forecast.
This will likely be a week of record-setting temperatures. We are on our way up starting on Sunday. 104, 106 possible for your Monday. Outlook all coming up here in just a few minutes.
Hello, thank you for joining us here on Spectrum News 1. I'm Todd Boatwright. We begin today with a new report showing a rise in hate crimes across the state. Texas DPS says nearly 550 hate crimes were reported last year, and that is an all-time high. It is the 6th year in a row that number has grown. They say the majority of the crimes are targeting LGBTQ and also black communities. And in Austin, the city is launching a new initiative against hate. Our JJ Maldonado shows us how some in the community are working to make Austin safer and more welcoming.
This black paint right here is actually where the graffiti was, and it was painted there to cover under there. I don't think you can see it anymore.
Ford McCracken thinks back to when he was a senior in high school, pulling up to his parking spot in what he thought would be an ordinary day.
Because it's not the first time I've had to deal with anything of the sorts. I've never had my parking spot graffitied, but it wasn't more of a shocking feeling. It was more of a, oh, gonna have to deal with something like this today. And I think that that was definitely tough to see and tough to think about.
Ford considers himself a member of the LGBTQ community. And while that incident was 2 years ago, hate crimes today are increasingly on the rise. It's why he feels strongly about reporting hate crimes and working with the city of Austin in their anti-hate education campaign titled We All Belong.
I think it's super important to be able to respond to hate crimes adequately, and that all starts with reporting them.
According to the most recent FBI data, there was a 33% increase in hate crime incidents from 2020 to 2021 in the state of Texas. A year-to-year increase of nearly 50% from 2021 to 2022. Austin City Council member Allison Alter says reporting crimes as they occur helps the city with allocating resources.
People who are victims need to understand how they report, where they can get resources. This campaign also, I think, helps folks get connected up with victim services if they need that. We do have resources for that. And it's just important in our whole community for people to be knowledgeable of that this exists.
The city is using data from an online dashboard to develop prevention strategies. Victims of hate crimes can report their incidents on the website with information going directly to the Austin Police Department. While now in college, Ford is back for the summer and continues to advocate in the fight against hate.
Even if you feel like you may not report it, it could help someone else. It could be connected to another hate crime, and that's why reporting in this city's new dashboard.
A criminal investigation into the Nueces County Medical Examiner's Office hasn't gone to trial yet. Now, several people were arrested last year after it came to light that the deputy chief medical examiner had been performing autopsies without a valid license, something the office was allegedly aware of. Now, the examiners are also being accused of mishandling bodies, calling into question several of their findings after death certificates had to be amended. Now, for the first time, families affected by this investigation are speaking out, saying they're still dealing with all the confusion and the heartache. Our Crystal Dominguez has more on that.
Maria Kraskoff visits her son's gravesite once a week after church.
I sit right here and talk to him.
It's been a year and a half.
The way I wanted to, because I was so angry.
Angry because her son was the first to be examined by former deputy medical examiner Dr. Sandra Leiden. Leiden was fired in January of last year for not having a valid license to practice in Texas.
Was she taking it seriously? Did she even know what she was doing?
Maria doesn't want people to forget that this case is still pending in court. She and 12 other families are suing Nueces County for alleged negligence, seeking compensation and punitive damages.
I want them to be punished for what they did, the county and both doctors.
For several months, the cause of death on Elliot's death certificate read pending.
I was dumbfounded.
Another medical examiner from the state had to come in and perform another.
Questioned myself, like, are these really your ashes, Elliot?
Attorneys with Gowan and Elizondo are representing these families. Private investigator Dave Johnson is on the case.
This is a very complicated legal action, to say the least.
Right now, the first case is in front of the court. A verdict, he said, could take years. Maria believes she deserves an apology now.
I wanted to cry, but it kept me from crying.
The medical examiner's office declined to comment. In an email to Spectrum News 1, the county judge, Connie Scott, says, while our thoughts and prayers are with any family who has lost their loved one, and especially a child, we are unable to comment on pending litigation. Maria says she doesn't want what happened to get buried in the headlines.
And coming up, youth sports, a problem, not enough referees. We'll take a look at the reasons why and what's being done to fix it after the break. And later, a historic black cemetery is being restored by a Texas teenager, while she says it's been overlooked for far too long. These stories and more ahead on Spectrum News 1. Stay with us.
Hey everybody, I'm Carla Leal. Texas is no stranger to inclement weather. Ice storms, tornadoes, heavy floods, and a heat wave have already left their mark this 2023. On this week's In Focus Texas, we'll hear from our very own weather experts and leaders across the state and learn what they're doing to help keep Texans safe. You don't want to miss it, so join us for all the details. I'll see you then.
Stay connected to Spectrum News 1 with the Spectrum News app. Stream your trusted team live on the go or from home. And stay updated on the local news and weather forecasts that matter to you. Spectrum News, your community connection. Weather can be beautiful and at times powerful. Our weather experts update you with the information and the context you need so you can better plan your day. And we do it every 10 minutes. Weather on the Ones on Spectrum News 1.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Texas holds a very special place in both my heart and my family's heart as well. My dad started in the news business in 1955, so my dad was my idol. He was my mentor. I spent so much time, knew I just had to be a part of it. My life's purpose has been about informing, educating, and most importantly, connecting with people. It has been my passion to help people and make a difference in people's lives. I'm Brett Shipp, anchor, Spectrum News 1.
All right, here is a check of our giraffic cameras at the Dallas Zoo. Kendi, it looks like there, the calf, very excited to be outside. She's loving life. I really like her spirit. We all need to embody that, right? Let's go and get to the boards because it is hot, and of course with that it is very dry. We're seeing an extreme and then into central Texas. So fire danger threat, I want to go ahead and chart it out for you. Winds are behaving, but of course those fuels, as you see in your yard, the grasses very brittle, are definitely going that direction. So drought conditions are starting to take hold along with the drier air. We're getting higher on that fire risk. So even into Dallas now, we're starting to see a very severe condition, and we've already seen 29 fires across Texas this month. So please take those precautions. Here is a look at those skies. They're deceiving, they're gorgeous, but shoot, it is warm. A lot of compressional heating taking place not only into your Sunday, but into the week ahead. With that, we are not going to see a lot of rain. Here's a review of your Sunday. As you can tell, we're just kind of protected. We're in that bubble for relief, but not so much in the outlooks. They will be very, very hot. And again, I want to show you anything in green and blues. That's rain that they're seeing in the upcoming week. For us, we are not looking at a drop, unfortunately. So here's a look at the temperatures. I'll try to get through it quickly. We are going to see 106, 105 on average this week.
Well, as the start of fall sports gets closer, youth sports across the country are struggling to hire umpires and refs, and time is running out. Our Michael Lozano explains what this could mean for your kids.
Baseball and football all through high school.
Sports and Landon Howard go hand in hand.
It's always been a constant, yeah, for sure.
It's why he started
7th grade football all the way through varsity football. So any and all.
But because of tough hours, Landon put a stop to that career.
It was, I guess, June of 22.
Landon's one of many officials the UIL has had trouble retaining as they deal with a massive nationwide shortage.
It's a real concern for us. Football actually had done pretty well at working through the shortage, but it's now impacting even football here in Texas.
The Texas Association of Sports Officials are where people go to get registered. They say they need more than 1,000 new referees before the new football season starts.
It's an aging population, so we every year we get a few more who can't call anymore.
While the UIL says they've increased their wages and have had no trouble recruiting, it's the fan abuse that's driving many officials away.
Go be spirited, root for your team, do all the things that go with being a... But remember, beating up the officials is hurting our overall product.
So what does it mean for football games? Dr. Jamie Harrison with the UIL says for some, Friday Night Lights may just become a moniker.
If they all play on the same night, there's not enough officials to go around, so they're having to move games to Thursdays or Saturdays.
Landon says he may return to officiating someday. He just wants to make sure that it's at a time where he can have some work-life balance.
I just like to see other, young people having that same enjoyment and competitiveness.
One Landon hopes that football players don't lose out on this season.
And the college football season is almost here, and this year the Baylor Bears are hoping to improve from last season. Our Travis Raycheck introduces us to a walk-on player looking to lead his team to victory.
Josh Cameron has always been a defining factor in his football career.
Josh's mentality was always, I have to work like I'm, trying to get one play, like his mentality was always, I have to work, I have to work, I have to work.
And he was determined to play at the next level.
His goal from as early as we can remember has always been, I'm going to play college football and I'm going to the NFL.
Cameron was charging down that path until everyone's world changed in 2020.
COVID, it literally destroyed recruiting for the 2021 class. I mean, it truly did.
I look back and I'm like, dang, the pandemic kind of hindered my recruiting. Or I look back and I'm honestly thankful and for really just the journey of just kind of being that kind of underdog.
Despite an incredible high school career, Cameron had no D1 offers, so he bet on himself.
Oh, he's a walk-on or just overshadow dudes, but I just felt something was different, that they would actually look at me, give me a chance.
They had a vision for him. They didn't have a scholarship for him, but they definitely had a vision.
They might not have had a scholarship for him then, but Cameron put in the work to make one available after his freshman season.
I just walked down, I was like, what's going on, coach? He was just like, hey man, we're gonna put you on scholarship. I was like, whoa, a whole bunch of emotions. And so I called my mom, she was crying, we was all crying, tears of joy, all that stuff. So
your son is calling you crying, and I'm like, Josh, what happened? What's wrong? And he's just like, Mom, they're putting me on scholarship. It was such an emotional time. I mean, literally.
Because the determination never goes away, Cameron was not only on scholarship, but he earned a starting spot at the end of last year and a leadership role on this team.
I think it's just taking on the responsibility, not getting too caught up in I'm a leader on the team, just kind of trying to stay true to myself.
And coming up, meet a Texas man who's all about collecting, whether it's songs or something out of this world. Wait till you see what's hiding in his house next. Plus, we're taking you inside Dallas' new immersive exhibition. See how it's making sure everyone can connect with art. After the break.
The majority of the state seeing 100-degree temperatures and very dry conditions. With that, we have at least 150 counties out there under burn bans. So now is not the time to burn that debris. We are looking at that fire risk at least a 3, and it could go up this week because we have already seen
16 teams, 15 grand. One tournament to decide who knows the most about separating news fact from news fiction. 1, 2, 3, that is correct, Jacob. The Spectrum News Challenge Tournament.
That sounds really awesome, man.
If you think you know the news, then it's time to take the challenge. Spectrum News Challenge, Wednesday nights at 8:30. Available on all your favorite devices.
When you buy Spectrum Mobile for just $29.99 a month, you get a second line for free. So get one line for yourself and a free line for your devoted friend. Or you can get one line for yourself and one line for your kid.
Sold.
Or both lines for yourself. I use one for business and another for business. Get one line of unlimited for $29.99 and get a second line free for 12 months. Call, click, or visit a Spectrum store today.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
We have one mission, and that is to serve our community.
Our goal with Spectrum News 1 is to tell people's stories. We're telling a person's story in a way that's relatable to who they are.
It's my responsibility to know the issues here in Texas, but also, more importantly, to know who it affects.
We want to make sure that you know what's going on, and you're going to get storytelling about your local community. Your evening on Spectrum News 1, weeknights starting at 5 p.m. Central.
Well, Texas is full of talented people, of course, and in Austin, there's one musician who not only has a collection of songs, but all kinds of stuff. Step inside his home and enter a whole other world. Musician Randy Robertson's band Hourglass is all about 70s acoustic rock. And wherever there's some kind of collection, whether it's songs or something else, you'll find Randy.
I've been collecting things since I was knee-high to a grasshopper.
Randy lived in several places around the world, and he brought a bunch of it back. His home even ended up on the Weird Homes tour in Austin. His OMG house, as he calls it, was born.
We'd have 1,500 people come to the house in one day, and I saw 17 people in a row go down the hallway to my bathroom, and when they went in, 17 people in a row went, "Oh my God!" As soon as they walked in, I said, "That has to be the name of the house." So.
And inside the house, a suit of armor stands watch. This is Randy's piece of the Berlin actual mask made from the actual face of comedian Cheech Marin.
Do it, man.
Thousands of items make up Randy's eclectic collection, including the oldest in the bunch, little figurines made from meteorites dating back to 2400 BC.
This here would be the fertility goddess. As you can see, it has both male and female parts there.
And just beyond this room, you walk the red carpet, up a flight of stairs, and into old Hollywood. Randy's wife, Sandy, dedicated an entire room to movie star Marilyn Monroe.
Lots of Marilyn. She was a Marilyn collector, and I helped her collect Marilyn stuff, you know, and so anytime I would find something, I would...
Passed away back in December.
I just decided I was going to leave the things as they are, you know, simply because I didn't think I could do them better. And this is not a house about me, and it's always been about Sandy.
And it's about music. Randy says he'd like to travel more with his band. That might mean downsizing a bit. But for now, his collection will stay as is, under the watchful eye of Marilyn and Randy's wife, who's never too far away. And in North Texas, there is a new immersive exhibition open near Dallas. Ashley Claster takes us inside to see how the experience makes sure everyone connects with art.
When we curve around, we're going to go through a black, dark area.
Her new gig is a whole new challenge to see through a whole new lens.
And that's meant to be like a sensory clearing of your mind before you enter in.
You see, Erin's not autistic, though she does have her own sensory processing issues.
Now you're in the multiverse. If I'm having like a crazy day, I'll actually walk through certain areas and I will crave that sensory input.
But she's using that to help her make Meow Wolf somewhere everyone can enjoy.
Everything here in Meow Wolf you can touch.
It has cool lights, textures, sounds, hands-on art, and explorable portals. For certain people on the autism spectrum, Erin hopes it'll be the perfect blend of senses and entertainment.
So this room is one of our more calming ones. If you need a sensory break, I find it to be like so relaxing and peaceful.
She, like all of her new co-workers here at the Grapevine location, took special. It's actually gotten Meow Wolf certified as an autism center.
Yeah, so we partnered with IBCCES to become a certified autism center.
Employee Brian Liu says they're all pushed here to understand and to tailor the immersive art experience for those with sensory sensitivities. Everyone here is.
You know, whether it was a CEO or somebody who is, you know, handing you your tickets here, offer quiet spaces and how we can have sensory kits at the front desk.
Things like giving out headphones, fidget toys, and information on exactly what to expect before anyone walks in. But Brian says the big focus they've been trained in, treating each person as an individual, not one size fits all.
Some of our guests who just need a lot of that sensory on a regular basis come visit us time and time again. But we also do know there are other people on the spectrum who don't need that as much sensory needs, and so we want to make sure to be able to accommodate for those guests as well.
Job here with an all-new perspective.
But you know, it depends on if you're sensory seeking or if you're sensory sensitive.
But she says it makes this unique experience even more special as it opens, now that it's opened her world to an even more inclusive one.
A thriving community is an informed community, and being able to play a role in bringing people the news is something that I take very seriously. There's just so many things to love about the state of Texas. Southern hospitality, great food. I love that there are so many different cultures celebrated. I want people to turn us on in the morning and feel like they've got the information they need to go out and conquer their day. I'm Alex Stockwell, anchor for Spectrum News 1.
With Spectrum Mobile, your mobile speeds are already amazingly fast, but now they've developed Speed Boost. And it's only possible because Spectrum Internet, Advanced Wi-Fi, and mobile all work together. It's like speed on top of speed on top of speed, or like taking a shot of espresso, like this one. Woo! Then chugging an energy drink, yeah! And then being shot out of a cannon. Let's light this candle. Only from Spectrum Mobile.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are connected, engaged, from the moment we rise. We move. We adjust. We learn, explore, relax, and grow together so we're ready to build a better tomorrow. Stay informed throughout exclusively for Spectrum customers.
Weather on the Ones, every 10 minutes. Also available on the Spectrum News app.
Good evening, Dallas-Fort Worth. Here's your Spectrum News in 90. Former Dallas Maverick star Eduardo Eddie Najera is back in action, but this time it's with the ownership group of the Dallas Sidekicks. Najera says he wants to help foster the explosive growth of soccer. He says he grew up playing soccer in Mexico. Electric car owners in Texas will soon have to pay extra registration fees. The state Senate passed a bill that adds an extra $200 for electric registration renewals. So if you're looking to buy a new car like that, you'll have to pay $400 to cover a 2-year period. The new fee kicks in. A new report has found Texas has more chemical emergencies than any other state. That's according to the Coalition to Prevent Chemical Disasters. Since 2021, Texas had 25 chemical emergencies. Now a look at your forecast.
We're talking about yet another scorcher forecast. I'm sorry I'm a broken record as we go forward into the day. Lots of sunshine, no rain chances. We'll have a light breeze out there, but then making it as high as 103, 104 into the afternoon. So we're keeping this momentum this week. I'll tell you how high we're headed, all coming up.
Hi, welcome back. A historic black cemetery in North Texas is being fully restored thanks to the work of a Texas teenager. Our Justin Honore shows how.
One North Texas teen is trying to have this African-American cemetery completely restored by MLK Day next year. It's not just about the restoration, it's also understanding why cemeteries like these go abandoned.
As you can see, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Many of the people buried here may not have headstones. If they do have headstones, there's no name.
Victoria Myers doesn't just see a misplaced graveyard. She sees a portion of history which she believes has been forgotten.
I don't even know if I'm stepping over a grave or not, because so many of them could have been lost. Many of the cross headstones might have blown away and just been forgotten.
This black cemetery in Louisville isn't the only one in Texas which has been forgotten. Many in recent years have been discovered in different parts of the state and country.
We found remains.
Don Payton, who was the former historical commissioner, has led to a lot of new discoveries.
Right now we're dealing with the developers who are coming into these small towns and they're finding this open land. But also in the process of finding the open land, they're finding out that a lot of those were cemeteries.
Payton, now a tour guide at the African American Museum, helps preserve one of those cemeteries. First discovered in the 1980s, parts of it now reside in the museum.
And it is a major project around the country now to preserve old black cemeteries.
Decades later, Myers is hoping to do her part as well.
Who deserves a headstone like this?
By preserving this resting place with reworked headstones, proper fencing, and light posts. They give it a new life by MLK Day in 2024.
And it's important that we pick up these pieces of history and put them together to make a puzzle, because there's so much of it around the cemetery to have a story. And I want to reveal that story through this project.
President Biden is pushing for more health insurance companies to improve access to mental health treatment. He announced a proposal this month to change the rules of the 2008 Mental Health Parity and Addiction Equity Act. Now, the change would require insurers to evaluate and update coverage to make sure they're in compliance, which could mean adding more mental health professionals to their network. When it comes to mental health issues, sometimes people just need a break from reality, and video games can be a great option. Our Augustine Garfias shows how a dad in North Texas is using gaming to cope with loss.
When we lost him, he was 29. I miss him every day. We miss him every day.
Rob Davis cleans his son's gravesite.
Everyone loved him. Everyone remembers Mitch.
Mitch Davis was a 6'3" athletic tennis player. His dad says he was as kind as can be.
He left an impression on people everywhere he went.
But behind those piercing blue eyes, Mitch was trying to find his place in the world.
You know, him not feeling like he belongs, not feeling like he has anyone he can connect with that really understood what was going on with him and his mind. Didn't feel like he had any skills that he could support a family with, even though he's a very talented tennis player. And he felt the world was a very unkind place.
Davis looked everywhere for help, but found an overwhelmed mental health system. December will mark 2 years since Mitch died in a mental health emergency.
He ended up seeing no other way out and wanting to protect the loved ones around him. You know, battle through that struggle was just more than he could do.
In his grief, Davis learned he wasn't alone.
Problem became incredibly open to us, realizing that it's much, much bigger than we ever thought.
Going A. Davis has been playing video games pretty much since they went commercial in the 70s.
They call me the best boomer in COD.
Right in front of him is a tool he believes can provide 4 things he learned from his son.
A place to belong, people to connect with, skills to develop, and environments of kindness.
On those pillars, the 9292 Foundation was born.
We have an opportunity through that connection to take the conversation to the next level.
Davis's vision of video game therapy is a far cry from the unhealthy stereotype gamers have been subject to for years.
GG.
But it's real.
236.
At least at Crave Counseling in Round Rock.
Chickens, what's our goal? Therapy was a thing until I started working here at Crave. What's your order? How are you managing everything?
Asia Harden primarily works with adolescents.
Sometimes they don't have something to talk about, which is why I'll use the games as an icebreaker. I'm chopping them.
Harden says video games can help people of all ages develop communication skills. She also uses games as a way to help her kids understand patience or how to navigate high-stress situations. Their change in self-confidence can be night and day.
Okay. Being able to have high self-esteem helps us show how confident we are and that we can, any challenge that we face, we're going to be able to hit it on because we have such high self-esteem.
Not to replace mental health care services and the work that professionals are doing.
Davis acknowledges he is not a mental health professional, but he firmly believes gaming can provide positive change. In his heart and mind, Mitch is right beside him. Is done.
I think it would be because of his humble and kind nature. He would be immersed in this work with me if he were here.
Augustine Garfias, Spectrum News 1.
Video games can also help with PTSD symptoms. A group of psychologists at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health found games can help distract some veterans from their triggers and help control anxiety. Well, coming up, we'll visit with a group of Texas authors to celebrate their work and Paperback Book Day. What you might want to add to your summer reading list after the break.
Go to work every day and communicate with fellow Texans who understand that quality of life matters and the choices we make matter. And if they can trust me to share important information with them, then I'm a happy camper. I'm Dr. Nicole Cross, anchor for Spectrum News 1.
From coast to coast, you've seen us around. We live and work in the communities we serve. Our commitment runs deep. We're invested here, creating good jobs and supporting small businesses, many of which we're proud to call customers. You count on us to keep you connected to what matters most, and we're committed to delivering you the best internet, TV, and mobile service. We're Spectrum, connecting the places we all call home.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. No.
We had this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure
love.
Weather can be beautiful, inconvenient, and at times powerful, and it affects everything we do. At Spectrum News 1, our weather experts update you with the information and the context you need so you can better plan your day. And we do it every 10 minutes. We're the calm in the storm, Weather on the Ones on Spectrum News 1. And get your weather anytime on the Spectrum News app.
All right, here is a check of our giraffic cameras at the Dallas Zoo. Candy, it looks like there, the calf, very excited to be outside. She's loving life. I really like her spirit. We all need to embody that, right? Let's go and get to the boards because it is hot, and of course with that it is very dry. We're seeing an extreme situation as we take it off towards the west of our neck of the woods and then into central Texas. So fire danger threat, I want to go ahead and chart it out for you. Winds are behaving, but of course those fuels, as you see in your yard, the grasses very brittle, are definitely going that direction. So drought conditions are starting to take hold along with the drier air. We're getting higher on that fire risk. So even into to see a very severe condition, and we've already seen 29 fires across Texas this month. So please take those precautions. Here is a look at those skies. They're deceiving, they're gorgeous, but shoot, it is warm. A lot of compressional heating taking place not only into your Sunday, but into the week ahead. With that, we are not going to see a lot of rain. Here's a review of your Sunday. As you can tell, we're just kind of protected. We're in that bubble. High pressure is hugging our state and it will not let go. I was hoping for relief, but not so much in the outlooks. They will be very, very hot. And again, I want to show you anything in green and blues. That's rain that they're seeing in the upcoming week. For us, we are not looking at a drop, unfortunately. So here's a look at the temperatures. I'll try to get through it quickly. We are going to see 106, 105.
Well, this is for all you Texas book lovers out there. Paperback Book Day is taking place over the weekend. And in honor of the day, we have writers from Austin, Houston, and Dallas here to talk about their books. And we're going to start with Austin. We have Katie Grakowski, author of Texas Rose, Happily Ever After, and Puzzled Pieces. You have your books with us. Tell us about your newest book real quick.
My newest book is this one. It's the 5th book in my mystery series. The mystery series is about a PTO, parent-teacher organization president, and her 2 PTO colleagues who solve murders in a fictional town named Lakeside, which is actually Lakeway, where I live. So,
okay, so we're
yeah.
talking Texas here.
Well, absolutely, we're talking Texas. And then this one is the 5th book in my Texas Rose Ranching series, which is a fake ranch that I made up that is the 2nd largest ranch in Texas.
Right.
But
that's it. And how many books total have you written?
I've written 26 books.
So with that in mind, really quickly, what kind of advice do you have for up-and-coming authors or someone who says, you know, I want to write a book?
You should write a book. I support all, we call them pre-published authors. So all pre-published authors, I think the biggest thing that you can do to learn the craft of writing is to find a company of other authors, because they are the ones who understand, again, that the voices in your head are not due to mental illness. They're characters who want to break out. So find yourself a group of authors and go hang out. Authors are generous and loving and willing to help just about anybody.
That's fantastic. And we have Amy Daughters from Houston, the author of Dear Dana. You got the book with you. Tell us about the book, and I guess it kind of deals with the evolution of friendships, even mentions social media kind of thing.
Right. Well, Todd, about 30 years ago, I met a friend, Dana, at summer camp here in Texas. We spent holidays. I don't really remember much more. But speed forward to 2014, I found her on Facebook, found out she had a son who was battling cancer, and when he relapsed, his name was Parker, I was like a bolt of lightning. I was like, I'll start writing him letters. So I started sending her and Parker letters to the Ronald McDonald House in Memphis, and then about 8 weeks into writing them, Parker, unthinkably passed away at age 15. Yeah. And I thought, what am I supposed to do now? Not that it had anything to do with me, but I just kept writing her letters. And then Dana started writing me back, and we spent 2 years with no electronic communication, sharing on this level that was, really, it was profound. We had this free space created between us because nobody knew when anybody was reading anything. So it was so big, I sat back and thought, if something like this random girl from Louisiana can change my whole life, what happens if I write all my Facebook friends a letter? So that's what I did. I wrote 600 Facebook handwritten letters, and it blew up my life. Stories together.
That's fantastic. Last but not least, Rachel Devlin from Rockwall near Dallas, just east of Dallas, the author of Snapshots of My Father, John Silber. Tell us about your book.
I wrote this memoir about my father because so few know the real John Silber, and I wanted to bring him to life. He was born with one short arm, but he nevertheless became a philosopher, an athlete, and a thinker on the world stage. He was on the commission that created Head Start, and then he was Dean of Arts and Sciences at UT. But when he started making speeches all across Texas to large audiences, the very political head of the Board of Regents, Frank Irwin, called Pop into his office and he said, "John, I'm going to make you famous. I'm going to fire you." President of Boston University, where he famously combated with protesters like Howard Zinn. He refused to allow them to close down and shut down speakers on campus because he believed in hearing all voices. He also got to meet everybody. He met Ella Fitzgerald and Carl Yastrzemski, Julia Child and Tom Wolfe. And I have 200 terrific pictures in my book.
And how many pages? You told me.
About 300.
And how long did it take you to write?
Well, actually 7 years, because I talked to so many people and I also had to gather the photographs.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate it. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
The majority of the states seeing 100-degree temperatures and very dry conditions. With that, we have at least 150 counties out there under burn bans. So now is not the time to burn that debris. We are looking at that fire risk at least a 3, and it could go up this week because we have already seen at least 29 fires this month. So please exercise caution.
The strength of Texas is in its many voices and unique perspectives. Every Sunday, join host Carla Leal on In Focus Texas. Education, economy, immigration, and more. Balanced and respect impacting Texas from experts across the state.
We take a closer look at the issues in your community.
In Focus Texas, Sunday mornings at 9:30 on Spectrum News 1. Available on all your favorite devices.
So you're telling me this one-size-fits-all network upgrade is the best you guys can do?
Better than that. It's the only thing we do.
That's how we know it's right for you.
Aye, aye, aye.
Is that what I said?
No, I think you were okay. I think that's a yes.
We get it. Ask for the technology you need, and they call you unreasonable. We call you something else, our kind of client. So go ahead, be unreasonable.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind. Take this time to talk and get it right. You know I'll be there. All your when you need me, I'll be by your side.
Little everyday conversations about the dangers of underage drinking can make a big difference in a child's life.
Today at Zilker Park, where folks from across the state of Texas are coming together for this.
At Spectrum News, we're committed to our communities around the clock, delivering stories that inspire and news that matters in your community. Our journalists are dedicated to bringing you trusted, balanced local news every day. And now, Spectrum Internet-only customers, you can watch Spectrum News 1 on your TV, connecting you to your community 24/7. Spectrum News, now streaming, exclusively for Spectrum customers.
Well, this summer, if you're in part of North Texas, you might see goats grazing around. It's part of a new vegetation management program by the city of Dallas. They say targeted grazing actually controls vegetation in a good way. And folks in Austin will be getting their share of goat workers this summer, with the animals set to work around Lady Bird Lake over the next few weeks. Here's Dylan Scott.
The city of Austin is getting creative when it comes to their poison ivy problem, enlisting the help of the goat, or make that goats, to handle this risky business.
An alternative to using pesticides. It's an organic way to help understory into these woodlands.
With the Butler Trail in need of some serious brushing up.
Hey.
Grady Reed, Park Operations Director with the Trail Conservancy, had the perfect summer job for those on a plant-based diet.
We've identified areas that are majority poison ivy and invasive species, and then they'll do about an acre. As you can see, they're almost done with this, but they'll do about an acre every day to 2 days, depending on the density.
Call it an outside the barn idea. Through a partnership with Rent-A-Ruminant, a Central Texas-based livestock grazing company, 150 goats will spend the next few weeks clearing 7+ acres around Lady Bird Lake while leaving natural fertilizer, part of an eco-friendly pilot program.
We're always looking for new ways, or in this case, old ways, of natural area management. Learning and growing and evolving is really important, so that's part of this process.
They do get breaks throughout the day, and even though it looks like they're all resting and napping, they're actually still working.
Kyle Carr and his wife Terry have taken their employees all across the state, using paddocks like this to keep their four-legged friends safe and on task from one site to the next. How good are they as employees, would you say?
They're pretty good. As long as we provide them with fresh things to eat, they're quite happy. Whenever they know the area is getting pretty low and they'd like to move to the next one, they start getting a little vocal.
When the area is deemed safe, park professionals and volunteers can pick up where they left off. Reed says he hopes to raise funds to herd up the team again this fall. In the meantime, Austinites can admire their work from afar.
Make sure not to pet them, guys, because they're eating poison ivy.
Update on a 13-year-old from Africa who traveled all the way to Texas for life-changing back surgery. Luby Zapata shows us how he's now standing tall.
Surrounded by people he considers family, Benno is showing off his dance moves for the first time since his surgery.
His spine was literally had a hairpin turn in it. We can't even measure. I mean, his spine, the turn was like this. It compressed all his internal organs.
Masha is the founder of Stand Tall International. The nonprofit organization works to help children living with severe spinal deformities, primarily in Africa.
This was Benno's spine before surgery. Wait for the after. Look at how tall that beautiful spine is.
Stand Tall arranges and funds life-saving surgeries for kids like Benno, who traveled from Tanzania to Texas for the surgery that helped scoliosis.
Congratulations, Benno! Thank you.
Benno's Texas family threw him a going-away party to celebrate a successful surgery. In attendance are some of his nurses and the doctor who performed the operation.
Every surgery that I do is scary for me. This one took it up a notch.
I first met Dr. Izzy back in March. It was the day before the surgery, and he wanted everyone, including Benno, to be aware there's always the risk of death with complicated surgeries.
I am anxious. I am nervous. Essentially, what I need to do tomorrow is strategically release areas of the spine by cutting the bone, cutting the ligaments, so I can put Benno in traction to slowly straighten him up.
Flash forward 4 months. Everyone's here to celebrate because Benno beat the odds, and he's recovering.
This exercise, big exercise. How are you doing?
His host mom and dad say his spine isn't the only transformation he's received.
Definitely seen a lot more confidence. He's more gregarious. He talks to people more, dances a lot more.
And Dr. Izzy says Benno isn't the only one who received a gift.
Let me just make one thing perfectly clear. I do get paid for this. Benno, smile for me. That's how I get paid for this. That's what this is all about.
Benno busting a move. There you go. Well, thank you so much for watching Spectrum News 1. I'm Todd Boatwright. Stay safe, especially in this heat. We will see you again soon.
The decisions elected officials make really have an impact on all of us. A big part of what we do on Capitol Tonight is break down the issues so that they're easily understood. We want to bring you a better understanding of local issues and the local impact of national issues with relevant, in-depth conversations that provide context for Texans in a balanced and informative way. It's at 7 on Spectrum News 1.
They say the best things in life are free.
That's why Spectrum Mobile is giving you one free mobile line when you buy one unlimited line for $29.99.
Hey, so I can get 2 lines for the price of 1? That's right, for just $29.99.
Switch to Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for $29.99 a month and get a second unlimited line free for 12 months with no contracts. Call 1-844-537-2999. Visit spectrum.com/getconnected or Spectrum store today.
It's the best deal in mobile.
Free mobile sounds good, but is the service reliable?
Absolutely. Spectrum Mobile is super reliable, coast to coast.
Okay, but what's the catch?
Is it contracts?
No contracts, no catch.
Get one line for $29.99 and the second line is free.
All with no taxes or hidden fees.
Whew. Man, I'm switching to Spectrum. You said?
Switch to Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for $29.99 a month and get a second. Call 1-844-537-2999.
Get the best deal in mobile. Switch to Spectrum.
The family's visit to the